A couple days ago, I made a video talking about the fact that there was a new article written about Donald Trump by a former KGB agent discussing the fact that he's a Russian agent, right? In that video, I talked about how there's not one singular group behind the takedown of the United States government. In fact, I've had to break it down into multiple factions. I made a map, and it's not the best. However, hopefully it's helpful to someone. The thing is that all of these groups of people are not connected in one single monolithic way. Instead, it's like an overlapping loose network of individuals who have different drives and purposes for doing the things that they're doing. So as you can see here, I've color-coded them, okay? I'll keep the image up on the screen while I discuss. So I'm a visual individual, which is why I made this map, okay? And I've broken down all of these elites into 4 factions, and Russia is on an island of its own, okay? Because I believe Russia and Trump is where it all started, and then it kind of snowballed into Donald Trump making promises to a bunch of different people. So the 4 factions I've come up with and their corresponding colors are as follows. I've got faction 1, the tech oligarchs in green. Then I have faction 2, the Christian nationalists, okay? Those ones are in blue. I have faction 3, the policy and power brokers, right? So like the Heritage Foundation, they're legislating everything. That would be the purple color. And then I also have faction 4, which is in red, which is MAGA, the cult of personality. So for faction 1 in green, the tech oligarch include Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, Zuckerberg, and I think that these people connect in that they want total decentralization and AI dominance over everything. They would like to create mini nations so that one CEO takes over the entire country. Basically, they'll make the most money this way. All of these people are heavily influenced by Curtis Yarvin and his neo-reactionary movement techno-feudalism nonsense, okay? They specifically want to make money. Now, faction 2 in blue are the Christian nationalists, okay? That would include the Seven Mountain Mandate and the New Apostolic Reformation, and then the other Christian dominionists, okay? They specifically want theocratic control over our government, education, and culture. They want to establish a Christian-run society. I have not talked about 7M or NAR on my channel at all, so I want to go over them really quickly so that you know and have some context if you have never heard of these groups before. But these are considered the Christian dominionists. So Seven Mountain Mandate was founded in 1975, okay? And they specifically wanted to regain the power that the Black church had during the civil rights movement. They believe that Christians need to take over these 7 mountains, which include family, religion, education, media, the arts, entertainment, and business and government. Mike Johnson subscribes to the Seven Mountain Mandate, as well as Paula White, that weird Christian lady that's now apparently in the White House. I don't really know what her purpose is, but she's a super evangelical psychopath, to be honest with you. Now, NAR is the New Apostolic Reformation Movement. It is a very stupid name, and I don't know if I said it right. Who cares? It is a Christian supremacist group, point blank, period. They use that flag from the Revolutionary War called the Appeal to Heaven flag that Samuel Alito was flying with the pine tree. I don't really know what it means other than it's similar to like the Confederacy. But they specifically believe in biblical literalism, okay? And they wish to subvert democracy into a theocracy. Pretty much these Christian dominionists believe that Christians must rule every aspect of life, okay? And they connect with the Heritage Foundation, actually, and the donors that have deep ties to Christian nationalist movements and policy agendas, which it leads me to my third faction, the policy and power brokers in purple, so Heritage Foundation and the think tanks. These are pretty much the purse behind these Christian nationalist movements, okay? So that's why I separate them. I don't think that they're necessarily the same because, I mean, these Seven Mountain Mandate NAR groups are absolutely, funding, these movements. However, they're not writing the policies. That would be the Claremont Institute, the Heritage Foundation, Manhattan Institute, etc. Okay, so this is where the categories get a little bit fuzzy, okay? So bear with me. So Faction 2 specifically subscribes to a theocratic style of government, whereas Faction 3, the Heritage Foundation in purple, okay, and the Claremont Institute, all of that, who fund all of these things, they specifically want to install a permanent conservative style government that dismantles our democracy, dismantles our civil rights, and has more corporate control. Okay, which is why the tech bros really like these people and work with them. However, I find like the Heritage Foundation and the like to be a little bit less ideological than the others in that all of their legislation focuses on destruction. Like they want to destroy everything, and they specifically fall behind the cult of personality of Donald J. Trump, which what happens whenever Donald Trump is no longer in the picture? I really, like, what are you going to build on top of what you're destroying? The way that they connect with everyone is the fact that they are the ones providing the legal framework and policy playbooks for the Christian nationalists and the tech bros, okay? Which is why I personally classify what has happened here as a constitutional coup, because they followed the rules to get to where they are, right? Like they have done everything within the legal guidelines of the Constitution to put themselves there. Now they are acting in sort of a de facto coup kind of way, kind of just establishing themselves as authoritarians. Anyways, this leads me to Faction 4, which are in red, which is the MAGA movement, right? Which is Trump and the cult of personality. It includes J.D. Vance, in my opinion. Originally, I wanted to put J.D. Vance in with the tech bros, but now that he's the vice president, I think I would more so include him with the MAGA cults of personality, okay? And then you have MAGA Congress, the extremist militias, and then you also have the MAGA governors. Because make no mistake, those governors are going to be a fucking thorn in our side. I just want you to know. They specifically want Donald Trump to be in control of everything with no oversight and no accountability. They have no real, like, tangible political ideology. You notice how a lot of them are moving the goalposts? This is exactly why. They don't have a real political ideology that they actually subscribe to. They just pretend to be Republicans. Like I've said in multiple of my videos, I genuinely do not believe that these people can actually be considered Republicans. I grew up with Republicans in my life, and they were never like this, right? And I've made that point very clear. They aren't really Republicans. I want to make that point very clear because I think that MAGA is a brand new political party in the United States of America. They've been hiding in the shadows. They can be called multiple different things. You can call them Nazis. You can call them Christian evangelicals, you can call them Christian nationalists, you can call them anything, but I don't think that they are really Republican, which is why you have people leaving the group and starting things like the Lincoln Project. This is essentially all about Trump's personal power and the destruction of his enemies. That's it. At the end of the day, that's what Donald Trump's MAGA boils down to. And they connect with the rest of them as they absorb the support from all the three other factions while acting as the public face of the movement. This video is getting very long, so I'll probably make a part 2 discussing the nitty-gritty of it all. So stay tuned for that, but hopefully this helps paint a picture of like what the fuck we're looking at right now, because there's so many different things coming from all of these different fucking angles and it's hard to keep track, so it's nice to have it all in one place. Hello and welcome back to part 2. I fixed it. All of you are flaming me in the comments. The real reason it looked like this before is because I am a student and I didn't have a lot of time. And I was kind of being a little bit lazy and didn't want to charge my iPad, so I will also insert a photo of that so you can take a screenshot without my face in it. There were a couple things that I didn't get to because that was getting intensely long, so I just wanted to go over a couple more things with you guys. I will also leave the new image on the screen while I discuss this so you can follow along, okay? Because I want to talk about how these factions work together so that we can see maybe some cracks in the surface. I don't have all the answers. Just a girl, I'm just a citizen, alright? And unfortunately, we all have to deal with fascism now. Just a quick reminder on the color scheme and the factions. If you haven't seen part 1, I will tag it below for you. So faction 1 is the green one, the tech broligarchs. Faction 2 is the Christian nationalists, okay, they are in blue. Faction 3 is the purple one, which is going to be your think tanks, Heritage Foundation, the policy brokers, right? And then Faction 4 is going to be MAGA, the cult of personality, in red. Now I added something to the top corner here, which is AIPAC, okay, because they have massive influence on our MAGA Congress, and as well as the Democrats. Like, the Democrats equally are evil and love to see genocide for some reason, so they're also very influential in all of this. AIPAC, the pink one, is the reason why TikTok was so under fire, because they didn't like that we were live streaming the devastation and the genocide that they were committing. Anyways, so I wanted to say that these people don't fully trust each other, right? And Elon Musk is a wild card, which is why I have him as his own kind of separate color. I wanted to include him with the tech oligarchs because that's his main subscription. However, I think the man is in a world of his own. Like, genuinely, he wants to, like, repopulate the world or something. He's eugenics. Like, it's eugenics. You see, Elon Musk is a confusing character in all of this for me because I don't really know what his real true ideological stance is, because he didn't have a relationship with his father forever because he wouldn't subscribe to his father's ideologies because he's a libertarian. Like, he's more on the side of Peter Thiel in that sense. However, he is also not MAGA. Like, he's not deeply loyal to Donald Trump. He platforms MAGA, right? But he's using them. Same goes to the Christian nationalists. He doesn't actually believe in anything Christian nationalists are talking about. He just platforms them because it sows chaos. He also pushes these billionaire exit plans, like the bunkers and heading to Mars. But he also craves the government subsidies that he gets for all of his companies. He makes no fucking sense. He wants to privatize everything: government, speech, AI, law enforcement, and currency. Like, he also wants complete control over every digital infrastructure. He uses MAGA and Christian nationalists as a shield almost, so people will focus on Donald Trump rather than him. Musk is playing all fucking sides, which gives him the most power in the long run, in my opinion. I also forgot I wanted to add that I made JD Vance multicolor because which one would you put him in? Like, genuinely, like, I had so many people in the comments saying they would put him in the green, or they would put him in the purple, they would put him in the blue. I don't know which one. You tell me. Because at the end of the day, this man is playing all sides as well, in my opinion. Moving right along. This is what each of these factions want from the other, okay? So starting with the tech bro billionaires in green, they specifically need the Heritage Foundation and MAGA to dismantle the government regulations so that they can build their startup mini nations, or whatever the fuck Yarvin is on about. They're also fine with Christian nationalists controlling society as long as these tech bros are in control of the AI, the infrastructure, and the finances. They don't care what these fucking legislations are, they just want to be in control. When it comes to the Christian nationalists, they need MAGA to give them the political power, right? They also need the Heritage Foundation think tanks to draft these Christian nationalist policies. And they're cool with billionaires running and ruling everything in a techno-feudal state as long as the culture remains Christian and moral, you know? When it comes to Faction 3, the policy and power brokers like Heritage Foundation, I particularly called them the purse in the last video because they need the tech bros money to fund them, and then they fund everything else, okay? So specifically, they need the tech bro billionaires to fund Project 2025 and these long-term conservative policy shifts because they're fucking expensive. They also really need MAGA's mass movement and Christian nationalist base in order to win elections, which were already there. That way, they can permanently install conservative rule. Now, when it comes to Trump and the MAGA movement, they need the Heritage Foundation to make Trumpism seem legitimate in policy circles, which is what I think Trump's original issue was during his first presidency. Because, in my opinion, like, knowing Donald Trump when he was of sound mind, because if you go back and watch 2016 footage of Trump, he's not losing it. He doesn't make a lot of sense all the time. However, he's not insane. But I think that because he was of sound mind, he didn't give in to the Heritage Foundation fully. This time, I think he's fully handed the reins over to them and Musk and all of the other people involved in this shit show. The Christian nationalists provide Donald Trump with his loyal base. Dude, these, like, notes are literally just, like, my thoughts about everything. And I wrote, he needs billionaires for financial backing, but Trump personally resents that they have more money than him, which is so fucking true. It's so fucking true. But I think what the real problem is that Trump has fuck, if Trump is going down the dementia path, okay, genuinely, I think we're watching elder abuse, and I think that Musk has fully taken advantage of Trump's absence upstairs. Just to point out the Russia thing, I don't think Russia influences every group here, but I will say that these motherfuckers have been playing the long fucking game. And because they have been playing this game for so long and these motherfuckers are all greedy as fuck, at some point someone's going to cross Russia, and I don't think that's going to go well. I don't think that this is going to play out how they think it's going to, because there's too many motherfuckers involved, and Elon Musk is like rogue right now. He's in a K-hole. I don't know what's going on with him. But we're not seeing the same response we would expect from Donald Trump, which tells me the man is no longer all the way, his tree doesn't go all the way to the top branch anymore. You would have expected that Time magazine cover with Elon Musk behind the presidential desk. You would have expected that shit to send him into a spiral. We've heard nothing about it. He said something offhand during an interview, and that's it. So, y'all do with this information what you will. I'm going to bed. Sorry if this is a chaotic video. I'm kind of tired.